Live across WA from the studios of 7 Perth, Rick Arden and Susanna Carr.
Tonight, WA's cyclone disaster. 3 feared dead, 28 injured. As Cyclone George hits the Pilbara.
Port Hedland pounded, and there's another cyclone on the way.
You're watching 7 News.
Good evening and welcome to 7 News. We begin tonight with the devastating impact of Cyclone George, the deadliest cyclone to hit the state in 12 years.
3 people are feared dead and at least 28 are injured, with the worst cases due to be flown to Perth tonight. The Pilbara has been declared a natural disaster zone and there's another cyclone expected to hit this weekend. Gary Adshead is in Karratha this evening. He'll bring us the latest live soon. But our coverage begins with the brutal force of Cyclone George. The cyclone hit the coast with winds of up to 270 kilometres an hour. Port Hedland was battered, but workers at one remote mining camp copped the full force.
Port Hedland Airport became an emergency landing zone for the injured. The mine workers who survived a nightmare, a Category 4 storm packing winds of up to 275 kilometres per hour. They knew the cyclone was coming, but never expected this. Emergency helicopter medical teams battled gale force winds and torrential rain to rescue 17 people. 3 are in a serious condition. They were in portable accommodation units 100 kilometres south of Port Hedland, part of a railway construction crew.
There's all sorts of variety of injuries, head injuries, fractures, certainly lots of lacerations and other bits and pieces, so multiple injuries.
Port Hedland copped a battering. The cyclone ripped off roofs, mangled fences, pulled down trees and power lines. Already George has been declared a natural disaster. It's believed one person at the railway construction work camp 100 kilometres south of Port Hedland has been killed. Another person is believed to have been killed at Indy Station, halfway between the work camp and Port Hedland. Hedland itself, shock, disbelief and tales of a terrifying night.
Well, it was very, very frightening. I've been through a few, I think 27 to be exact, but my gee, last night was the worst apart from Joan. I don't think we'd like to go through another one of those again.
David White's house was badly damaged, but his family survived.
It was deafening. In our cyclone shelter, after this roof next door went, all we could hear was bits of timber hitting our cyclone shelter.
David Leopardi's restaurant was destroyed.
Well, to think that, you've lost your whole restaurant from it, I mean, it's not good at all.
But the critical rescue drama in the aftermath of George's buffeting winds was played out inland at the Fortescue Metals mine and railway camp. Doctors, nurses, police and emergency service officers choppered from Karratha this morning and into the disaster area. 7 News cameraman James Hayward was one of the first to see the devastation firsthand.
This campsite has been completely obliterated. There are stories of dongas being picked up and thrown over the top of other ones. They've exploded. There's about 5 kilometres of debris, and there were stories of guys who have been stuck underneath these dongas for up to 3 hours. There's showers sticking up in the middle of nowhere. It just, honestly, it looks like Cyclone Tracy. It's just been obliterated.
Even though the worst of Cyclone George had passed, gale force winds and torrential rain meant even the rescue mission was dangerous. The worst of the injured will be flown to Perth tonight. Hospitals are on standby. As the clean-up at Port Hedland gets underway and the injured continue to receive treatment, there's more bad news. Another cyclone, Jacob, is lurking off the Pilbara coast.
And for the latest now, we take you live to Gary Adshead in Karratha after returning from Port Hedland. Gary, what's the latest on the rescue effort tonight?
Well, I can tell you that as we speak, in fact, the last of the medivacs is taking place from the Wagina area, the mine site and the railway camp. The last of the medical evacuations. The people are being taken to Port Hedland. I can also tell you that a medical trauma team has been flown from Perth and is now assessing the worst of the worst, and those people will be flown to Perth where hospitals are waiting.
Gary, as we've heard in your report, a second cyclone is heading for the Pilbara. It could again be headed for Port Hedland?
Indeed. The latest information is Sunday, some point on Sunday. It is actually bearing down on Port Hedland as we speak, which is just a diabolical situation. That cyclone is called Jacob, and they're saying that at the moment it's Category 3. When it crosses the coast, they can expect it to go to Category 4, so Port Hedland may have to face all this again. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Gary. Gary Adshead with that report from Karratha.
Freshening to strong southerly near the coast in the afternoon, minimum 13, maximum 27. The outlook, it's going to be fine for the next 7 days with temperatures in the high 20s and up to 31. That's going to take place next Friday. Well, here they are. Look at them. They've all had a pretty good time. Don't forget to pick up your entry form in the community newspaper, and we may see you next week for Barbies in the Green. Good night. Have a great weekend. Here's Sue and Rick.
Is that Steve's family? Thanks, Jeff, and that's all from the newsroom on this Friday.
Reece Whitby will bring you news over the weekend. Have a good one. Now here's Monica with Today Tonight.